When faith replaces doubt, when selfless service eliminates selfish striving, the power of God brings to pass His purposes. Thomas S. Monson. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Mahatma Gandhi. With faith, discipline and selfless devotion to duty, there is nothing worthwhile that you cannot achieve. Muhammad Ali Jinnah. To me, teamwork is the beauty of our sport, where you have five acting as one. You become selfless. Mike Krzyzewski. It is rare to find a business partner who is selfless. If you are lucky, it happens once in a lifetime. Michael Eisner. I am selfless only to an extent. I can't be a martyr. I have a daughter to raise, Mukul Dev. My mother taught me to be honest, to be selfless, and to touch people in a positive way. Scott Eastwood. My son's the most precious thing to me. He's changed me from being selfish to selfless. Ricardo Antonio Chavira. Only those who have learned the power of sincere and selfless contribution experience life's deepest joy, true fulfillment. Tony Robbins. I know it might sound weird, but empathy is one of the greatest creators of energy. It's counterintuitive because it's selfless. Angela Arendt. Always do good to others. Be selfless. Mentally remove everything and be free. This is divine life. This is the direct way to moksha or salvation. Swami Sivananda. To be a teacher, you have to have a very giving, selfless personality. I don't think I'm that selfless in giving. Chris Parnell. Firefighters are some of the most selfless public servants you will ever encounter. Dennis Leary. Do some selfless service for people who are in need. Consider the whole picture, not just our little selves. Nina Hagen. Man can never be a woman's equal in the spirit of selfless service with which nature has endowed her. Mahatma Gandhi. I am an extremely selfless but, at the same time, supremely confident actor. R. Madhavan. In this age of selfishness, selfless service is the only soap that truly purifies. Mata Amritanandamayi. Perform anonymous service. Whenever we do good for others anonymously, our sense of intrinsic worth and self-respect increases. Selfless service has always been one of the most powerful methods of influence. Stephen Covey. To give real service, you must add something which cannot be bought or measured with money, and that is sincerity and integrity. Douglas Adams. I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted and behold, service was joy. Rabindranath Tagore. True greatness, true leadership, is achieved not by reducing men to one service but in giving oneself in selfless service to them. J. Oswald Sanders. Only those who have learned the power of sincere and selfless contribution experience life's deepest joy, true fulfillment. Tony Robbins. By becoming the answer to someone's prayer, we often find the answer to our own. Dieter F. Uchtdorf. Spiritual strength frequently comes through selfless service. Thomas S. Monson. Selfless service alone gives the needed strength and courage to awaken the sleeping humanity in one's heart. Sai Baba. I have learned that it is by serving that we learn how to serve. When we engaged in the service of our fellow men, not only do our deeds assist them, but we put our own problems in a fresher perspective. When we concern ourselves more with others, there is less time to be concerned with ourselves. Spencer W. Kimball. Man can never be a woman's equal in the spirit of selfless service with which nature has endowed her. Mahatma Gandhi. Often the answer to our prayer does not come while we're on our knees but while we're on our feet serving the Lord and serving those around us. Selfless acts of service and consecration refine our spirits, remove the scales from our spiritual eyes and open the windows of heaven. By becoming the answer to someone's prayer, we often find the answer to our own. Dieter F. Uchtdorf. Purify the mind through selfless service. Mata Amritanandamayi. We should be involved in quiet acts of selfless service. Spencer W. Kimball. Ahimsa must express itself through acts of selfless service of the masses. Mahatma Gandhi. It is my inmost conviction, Badshah Khan said, that Islam is amal, yaqeen, muhabbat, selfless service, faith, and love. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. Yoga is more a state than a methodology. A state where there is nothing missing. You don't feel like you have to grab this or grab that in order to be complete or full. From wringing out the body and the mind, from sitting in meditation, from studying scripture, from selfless service. Colleen Saitman. You have chosen to risk your lives for the defense of this country. I will not insult you by saying that you are dedicated to selfless service. It is not a virtue in my morality. In my morality, the defense of one's country means that a man is personally unwilling to live as the conquered slave of any enemy, foreign or domestic. This is an enormous virtue. Ayn Rand. Many priests and employees at temples work for pay. No one should judge religion on the basis of the shortcomings of such workers. We should frame suitable rules and regulations for preventing them from falling prey to material temptations. The true guiding spirits of religion are those who engage in selfless service while dedicating their entire lives to attaining the vision of God. Mata Amritanandamayi. Swajhism is not a cult of hatred. It is a doctrine of selfless service that has its roots in the purest ahimsa, i.e. love. Mahatma Gandhi. Selfless service to mankind makes you free in the world of mortals. Shivaya Subramania Swami. Do some selfless service for people who are in need. Consider the whole picture, not just our little selves. Nina Hagen. Often the answer to our prayer does not come while we're on our knees, but while we're on our feet serving the Lord and serving those around us. Dieter F. Uchtdorf. Now you are deep in what seems to me a peculiarly selfless service. The spiritual training of children must be that. You work for the years you will not see. You work for the invisible all the time, but you work for the eternal. So it is all worthwhile. Amy Carmichael. One makes a gift of one's life and endeavors by sanctifying it with love, devotion and selfless service. When seeking to uplift others, we are uplifted in the process. Every kind of thought or smile, therefore, benefits oneself as well as all the world. David Hawkins. The temple is a point of intersection between heaven and earth. In this sacred place, holy work will be performed through selfless service and love. The temple reminds us of all that is good and beautiful in the world. David A. Bednar. Miracles are everywhere to be found when priesthood callings are magnified. When faith replaces doubt, when selfless service eliminates selfish striving, the power of God brings to pass His purposes. The priesthood is not really so much a gift as it is a commission to serve, a privilege to lift, and an opportunity to bless the lives of others. Thomas S. Monson. We can choose to humble ourselves by receiving counsel and chastisement, by forgiving those who have offended us, by rendering selfless service. Ezra Taft Benson. I never understood when people would say, I would die for my child, but you become so selfless. Sierra. You have to be pretty selfless to have a child who doesn't give a lot back to you. Gillian Flynn. My father is someone I've always looked up to as the ultimate example of chivalry and humility, and someone who's just deeply kind and empathetic and selfless. Alexander Gilks. The best thing I learned from Manute was to be selfless. He was always about his people. He was about helping others. Luol Deng. There is nothing more beautiful than someone who goes out of their way to make life beautiful for others. Mandy Hale. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Mahatma Gandhi.